John Jubilee is a fitness guru who started a program called Energize Health 25 years ago. He works with a lot of professional athletes and many people in the movie industry. John says that cellular hydration will heal inflammation and autoimmune diseases. He has had thousands of people who have reversed and improved their health on his program. His program basically is one where he has you eat 5 small meals a day if you're a man, and 4 if you're a woman, healthy meals, and drink about a gallon of water so that you do hydrate not only your body but the cells. Listen as John describes in this interview I did with him recently why cellular hydration is so vital to your health.
Yeah, so 25 years ago, I had my own illnesses. I had my own truck tire. You know, I looked like I swallowed a truck tire if I took my shirt off. And I will say, especially to men, you know, men, we have a disconnect in our mind. And so we think we look, you know, like that, you know, but really we look like that. And so, you know, we want to focus on...
You got that most muscular looks pretty good there.
Yeah, we want to focus on this, but we got that going on. And so, you know, when I saw a picture of myself, you know, pictures don't lie. And so I would encourage anyone, take your shirt off, take a picture of yourself if you want to have a real picture of your health. You know, and if you have a blood test and, you know, look at your blood sugar, you know, see what you got going on, high blood pressure. You just have to be honest with yourself to assess. And so when I finally got honest with myself, Kerry, I realized I was a mess. I was bone on bone in my knees. People called me Mr. Rice Krispies because I snapped, crackled, and popped when I walked. And it was just terrible. But, you know, I had done the Atkins diet, you know, which now they call that the keto diet. And you know, Weight Watcher. I'd done all that crazy stuff. And so I really was so frustrated and despondent, you know, almost. I was just in despair. And I prayed and I fasted. And I said, God, please, you know, you made us a certain way. You know, how do I actually get healthy of something that's sustainable? And supernaturally, God gave me this download of intercellular hydration. And just to make that real simple, that's where the hydration actually comes inside the cell. And when the hydration comes in, nutrients come in, it activates like 300 lightning bolts, which are called mitochondria. I call them lightning bolts because it's the energy of the cell. But then it pushes out all the toxins and the inflammation. So it sounds real simple, right? It's like put a key in the ignition and turn it. You know, it was that simple for me when God showed it to me. Now, over the years, you know, now I have the only patent pending science in the world of intercellular hydration. It's almost 600 pages of science to explain what I just said. But what I learned, Kerry, is that first 10 years, and we've actually known each other, it's pushing almost 2 decades, actually. It's longer than I realized. But the first 10 years, people would come to me and they'd ask, John, will it help with this? Will it help with that? Will it help with this? Will it help? And Kerry, because I didn't want to be inaccurate, I would tell people, I don't know, let's see. Now, even though I was 99.9% sure that it would, I wouldn't say that. I would say, I don't know, let's see. But after 10 years, Kerry, I was so amazed because what I experienced was I regrew all my cartilage in my knees, you know, like a high school kid again. I lost all my fat as a side effect. I wasn't even really trying to lose the fat. I was just trying to get healthy at the cellular level. But then I realized, oh my goodness, you know, diabetes, high blood pressure, diverticulitis, Lyme's disease, we got a lot of that in Tennessee.
Yeah.
It would reverse all of these autoimmune disorders in people. And so it really, it turned into it's a ministry disguised as a business because we get to help so many people get healthy at the cellular level. And on a really deep note, I learned that the spirit, the mind, and the body cannot be separated. They are so intertwined and connected that even if you were eating a perfect diet and, you know, perfect hydration, but you have spiritual issues or you have psychological issues, you're never going to be healthy because those things get trapped in our cells. And so my beautiful wife, Chelsea, and I, we both come from a very traumatic background. So I also learned that part of cellular health is we have to deal with our past trauma. We have to deal with our negative experiences. So when we lose a loved one, you know, that trauma gets trapped in our cells, and we have to get that out. We have to release. We have to, if it's an offense, we have to forgive. We have to learn how to move on in life. And everything in creation, God created with His words except one thing: the human body. That He made with His own hands. We are so wondrously made in such a specific way. And Kerry, that's why I'm blown away that 25 years later, I'm just now beginning to understand.
And never been to the doctor?
No, not one medical doctor visit in 25 years. Because if we'll follow God's principle of how He designed us to be healthy at the cellular level, because He made us intentionally, trillion cells in our body, and each one of them is like its own little thermonuclear power plant. And if we haven't each one of those healthy, it's impossible to get sick. We'll have a super boosted immune system. We'll maintain lean muscle all of our life. You know, I'm thrilled to say, you know, this year, 62 years old, and I feel better than I did in college. I feel better than I did in college. I truly believe God's word is true when He said, your youth and your strength will be renewed like the eagle. That's what He wants. In John 10:10, it tells us the dynamic, what's going on. Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And so what does he want to do to Christians? He wants to steal, kill, and destroy their destiny, their life, their ministry, their vitality. And how does he do it? He can't get us to go do cocaine or go get drunk, but he can get us to live a wrong, unhealthy lifestyle.
I know, I was a glutton. And still addicted to, you know, foods. It's very difficult. You know, so there's somebody in the audience that's watching this that's having some health issues, you know, and we want to pray for them before the show's over. But what, you know, give us some of the things that you've seen happen with people that have done the Energized Health program.
Yeah, well, I can tell you this. So we have a website. It's energizedhealth.com, and if you go on that website, you will see thousands of testimonials. And so I'll share just a few with you. I recently just had a pastor, you know, so here's a man of God. He loves the Lord. He's reading his Bible. He's ministering to people, but he was about to chop off his own leg because of diabetic neuropathy. Well, Kerry, every diabetic has reverse diabetes, 90% reverse diabetes in 28 days, 100% reverse it in 88 days. High blood pressure, same statistic, by the way, 90% reverse in 28 days, 100% reverse in 88 days. Any autoimmune disorder.
Now, folks, he's giving you some incredible figures, but you've done this for 25 years, and you've seen, you know, people healed just from changing their lifestyle and adopting a program that you're talking about.
Exactly, and these are real numbers. Now, we're a medically approved program, so you know, that means if you have HSAs or FSAs, people are allowed to use it because it's medically approved. So we have to keep
health saving accounts.
Yeah, or financial savings accounts.
Yeah.
And so we have to keep, you know, HIPAA compliant records. So in 25 years, we have a 99.3% success rate of reversing any ailment or disease. Lyme's disease, diverticulitis, Meniere's disease, you know, any disorder that you could name, it's 99.3. And I love to say this to people, you know, take a guess why the 0.07% don't succeed. They're just sweet, lazy slugs. They just won't do anything.
Yeah.
And nobody can help a sweet, lazy slug.
Well, you know, I've done your program. It involves exercise first thing in the morning, drinking a lot of water, eating healthy, getting rid of junk food, but it's a doable program.
Well, it's very doable. And the other thing is, you know, I had one of my professional athletes say to me, you know, and as you know, I work with some pro athletes, and I had a pro athlete say to me one time, he said, you know, John, he said, I pretty much knew most of the things that you teach, but I had them out of sequence. I didn't have the right sequence. I didn't have the accountability and the coaching that you provide. Because, you know, we give everybody their own coach they talk to. We have a daily video that really takes people from kindergarten to their PhD on health and wellness. But he said a great quote. He said, knowing is not doing. Knowing is not doing. And you know, now I have hundreds of doctors, Kerry, that, especially since COVID, that have signed up for our protocol. Last week, 6 more doctors signed up. Well, why are medical doctors coming to sign up for a cellular health program? Because they say they never learned it in med school. They didn't learn about cellular hydration. They didn't learn how do you put nutrients into a cell? How do you change a cellular membrane? We have the only patent pending science in the world to do this, but we do make it so simple that everybody can do it. People's children are signing up with them because kids have diabetes like never before. This generation is the most diabetic. It's the first generation in history expected to be outlived by their parents because of the epidemic of diabetes. And with that, I want to quickly say this to people. You know, look, if you're watching Kerry and I right now on this program, you are now responsible to make an active decision. So when people go forward, Kerry, this is part of my calling in life. These Christians that go forward every week for prayer because they're sick, but they won't do anything about their own health, I just don't believe they're going to get healed. Because Jesus points his finger at people and says, be it unto you according to your faith.
You have to be active.
We have to, faith without works is dead. We have to do what we can do. And so when God gives us an opportunity to get healthy and to get well, we got to grab, like grabbing the hem of Jesus's garment and say, man, I'm going to take my healing. You know, we have to take an action step to say, hey, this is my moment. And so many times Christians pray and pray and pray for an answer. Well, the boat comes to the pier and they don't get in the boat. So, you know, when the boat shows up, you got to get in that boat when God gives you your answer to your prayer. So anybody that's struggling with any disease, if it's diabetes or diverticulitis or high blood pressure, you know, high blood pressure is one step away from a heart attack, a stroke, or a brain aneurysm. And you know, Kerry, 2 years ago, I lost my best friend in the world. He was an international Christian consultant to the biggest ministries in the world, but he had just a little bit of high blood pressure. And I told him what I'm saying right now. I said, Rob, what are you thinking, man? High blood pressure, you're one step away from a heart attack, you know, a stroke or brain aneurysm. And on his 48th birthday, he dropped dead at lunch. Not one doctor visit, not one sickness. Boom.
He's gone.
He's gone. He's standing in front of Jesus, and Jesus is looking at his watch going, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. You got a wife and 6 kids.